Hey, welcome to my channel. Um, let's talk about this. So it's official for sure. The Trey Lance experiment with San Francisco is complete bust, complete absolute bust. Now, what does this do for San Francisco? I mean, honestly, it was a big gamble. Let's put it that way. It was definitely a big gamble, considering the fact that 2020 was like COVID year, so no players played as much, so there was no combat or anything like that. You only did workouts and such. I mean, I don't know what the 49ers saw in Lance, but they figured, hey, let's trade up for him, basically. They traded three first-round draft picks practically for him um, to move up to that number three spot. Honestly, had they stayed where they were at, they probably could have gotten Justin Fields, probably, or even Trey Lance for that matter, at that position, at their spot. Even though Trey Lance was highly regarded, but I don't think anyone was choosing him. And honestly, too, if they were at the number three spot, they had the shot to get Jamar Chase. Made more sense for them to go for Jamar Chase more than anyone else. With the wide receiving core of that, with what they have now, that would have been, I mean, San Francisco would have been pretty much probably, I don't want to say unstoppable, but they probably would have done really, really well, at least. So there's that. Now, the thing is like, the Cowboys trading for Trey Lance. The real question is the Dak Prescott era over with Dallas? I mean, honestly, I don't know why Dallas would make a trade for Trey Lance, but it shows that they don't have the full confidence in Dak that they have possibly potentially with Trey Lance. Honestly, look, let's put it this way: Sam Darnold beating out Lance for the number two spot shows otherwise. That like basically Trey Lance had no. Well, put it that way, the experiment was over. I mean, granted, he had all these injuries and such, and he didn't really play a full season. Maybe the Cowboys saw something in him, and they probably feel that they could work with him a little bit more, get him out there, maybe light a fire under Dak Prescott. Because let's put it this way: Dak Prescott last year, without him, they did decent with them. Without him, knowing full well that with him, they can't win without him at least. So they figured maybe light a fire under his ass and get him moving and progress him forward, or two, potentially maybe Trey Lance becomes their quarterback of the future. I don't know. I mean, the fact is the Cowboys and Jerry Jones putting all that much money into Dak Prescott. I don't know. And the fact that I let's put it this way: the Zeke Dak era is over because Zeke has been traded off. So like it's over at this point. So I think it's. I don't want to say if I'm Jerry Jones because honestly he's got the ego, but it's a case where like they're gonna have to rebuild that team from scratch, and Mike McCarthy can probably rebuild it. Now this is the other factor: is Mike McCarthy with the Cowboys, knowing that he's sort of a quarterback's coach, he might help Trey Lance progress further. I don't know. That's a possibility, but only time will tell. Let's see what happens. But in any case, it's pretty fascinating how it was just one of those things that it just happened, and the fact that Brock Purdy becomes the number one. I mean, let's put it this way: he was drafted Mr. Irrelevant. If he becomes like the new Tom Brady, it shows maybe you don't have to go for the number one draft pick or the first round pick. QB in the first round, you could probably pluck him out off of somewhere if he works at a good system. Now it's kind of like, sorry. It's going to be interesting to see. I mean, honestly, I as a Giants fan, I was literally hoping that they would lose so badly that they could, draft Trevor Lawrence. Because let's put it this way: it was the Trevor Lawrence draft. That's pretty much what it was. It was the Trevor Lawrence draft. Even though at Jacksonville, his first year he sucked, but then that's based on Myers. Basically, seeing what it is now, it was Myers, not him. If he plays under the right system, Lawrence can thrive, and it's showing right now. He's thriving. He almost thrived in a ways last year. Like he brought Jacksonville pretty far, more than anyone expected. If Trevor Lawrence was in the right system, let's say with Bill Belichick, um, even though I think he might be a little bit overrated now, Belichick, because now we're saying that basically, defensively speaking, yeah, he's great, but offensively speaking, I don't think he has the tools that he needs to progress. And honestly, Brady was pretty much that team. I think Brady was, I mean, honestly, it was mostly Brady on the offensive side of things more than anything else. Um, let's not be surprised of seeing Brady coming in as an offensive coordinator, or at least a quarterback's coach first, starting off as a quarterback's coach, and then coming in as an offensive coordinator within 2 or 3 years, because that's a given. He's going to do that. It's a given. He's not going to be like a Peyton Manning or Eli Manning or Troy Aikman. He doesn't have that kind of personality. Well, Peyton Manning and Troy Aikman type of personality. He's more of a guy that needs to be that quarterback, like Frank Reich is right now. Look where Frank Reich is. I mean, I still remember him in the days when he was with the Bills. I'm like, oh, okay, look at that. But anyways, so if the sorry, if the Brock Purdy experiment works out really well, it'll always show that at this point that you can get really excellent quarterbacks if you do your homework right and pluck them out of the right system. I mean, let's be blunt. I mean, Joe Montana, he wasn't a high draft pick. He wasn't a high draft pick. How many Super Bowl rings does he have? Tom Brady, same thing. If Purdy gains another couple of Super Bowl rings, it's going to be up there at that point as well too. I mean, yeah, you have like the Eli Manning, but the Roethlisberger was far in the first round. So was Phillip Rivers, etc. I mean, honestly, I think Justin Herbert should deserve this because the guy has some serious talent. I would love to see him do really well. Quite honestly, I would love to see him do really well. I would have preferred if the Giants could have gotten him at least, if somehow, some way, but I know they were never going to get him. That's what I was hoping for Trevor Lawrence, but that was never going to happen. We're stuck with Daniel Jones. I really, really, really want to eat my words about Daniel Jones. I really want to be wrong about him, but my gut's telling me that this guy's just overrated. He's just like another Dave Brown. That's what it feels like. He's just another Dave Brown. And for you Giants fans, if you know who Dave Brown was, it's going to be almost in that similar nature. And like, it's just one of those things where like we're going to be in purgatory for next couple of years until we get a really good quarterback again. But honestly, I'm praying and I'm hoping that I can eat my words, and like I really want him to succeed. But again, my gut's telling me Daniel Jones was not worth that kind of money, quite honestly. But yeah, quite honestly, it's interesting to see like how the year's going to progress in the this year in the NFL. And the fact is, if Jonathan Taylor does get traded, it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out if he does get traded. Because if he does, and look for Saquon also to request the exact same thing, and all these other future running backs coming up, if they don't get what they want, you know what, sign and then like trade off and etc. Basically. The real question is coming down to the Arizona Cardinals though, because like Kyler Murray's out, so it's like I hate to say this, but it sucks as a Cardinals fan that you drafted this quarterback, highly touted quarterback, and like the guy keeps getting injured. So I don't know how it's going to work out for them at that point. In any case, I'm just looking at some stats here and such. I'm not going to give you my fantasy football picks because honestly, my picks have been horrible. I am debating though, with the fact that ChatGPT, OpenAI, having them make it that availability through the API. Of course, you have to pay for it. Letting it choose my draft picks, but the thing is, you got to do it. It's got to be in real time to the point where it knows that whatever fantasy football league you're in, whether it be Yahoo Sports or ESPN or CBS, whatever it may be, if they have an API that's exposed, that they can expose out to, that you can then therefore use ChatGPT to basically or OpenAI, sorry, to utilize that to figure out the models and get all the information and know what's best available. Let it choose. That would be interesting to see how that works out, honestly, as well too. I got to see when if I can actually do something of that nature and try to create something like that. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not sure what to say exactly right now. The Giants, we'll have to see how their schedule goes out and see how they play out. But if they do really well, great. If they don't, I mean, it's another lost year, unfortunately. And Dable, I think he's our future head coach, Hall of Fame coach, similar to Coughlin. I think with Dable, he should be around for a long time. But with that, yeah, I'll leave it at that. Let me know your thoughts. Please leave your comment in the comment section. As far as in relation to, do you think that Trey Lance will resurrect his career with the Cowboys? Do you think it's over for Dak Prescott, or is this a case where this is Dak Prescott basically Jerry Jones getting Trey Lance to basically light a fire under his ass? Or two, is it the possibility that Sherman's going to basically use Sherman is going to use basically to essentially build up Trey Lance's career? I mean, he was a quarterback's coach. Let's not forget that. One minute. Sometimes I do that live. I'm sorry, not Mike Sherman, Mike McCarthy. I'm so sorry. I keep saying Mike Sherman for some reason. But anyways, yeah, Mike McCarthy. In any case, leave me a comment in the comment section. I do read my comments when I get notified, and I do respond to them when I warrant a response. And also, if you like my content, like my videos, like my channel, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And if you have subscribed, I thank you for that. With that, I'll leave it at that. As you've seen, unfiltered, unedited, and of course, unrehearsed. Until next time.